That I find interesting about this all the time is that when I was growing up, this was something that I was told a lot. Honor your father and mother. Make sure, and that is part of it. That is part of it, but it's not the entirety of it. That's just a portion of it. It's really when your parents are old and becoming children again. Honor them. They raised you. They're the ones that took care of you. They're the ones that gave you life in this world. So when they're old, don't kick them out to pasture. Don't forget them. Don't put them in a nursing home that you visit every other month. You know, take care of them. They're part of you. They're part of what's going on. And a lot of that is because they are the ones that were in charge of you for so long. And now it's kind of flipped around, and you're the one in charge of them, and they need somebody to care for them. So I think that's one of the greatest things you can do to honor your parents, is saying, all this stuff, things that you have done for me for my life, I'm now going to take care of you because you took care of me for so long. I think that's one thing that's kind of gets missed sometimes, but something I think is vitally important in this.
Sure, there was no time limit placed on that.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's not like when you turn 21 now, you don't have to honor him anymore. But no, it's a lifelong thing, and I think it actually, when they get older, I think that increases. I think that's becomes quite more difficult because, you know, when your mother has Alzheimer's and is telling you the same story that you just heard 10 minutes ago, to try and look interested and stop and keep yourself from saying, you just said that. You know, that can be tough. That can be a hard thing to do, and I think that's where that honor comes in. That you have to know they're becoming the child now.
Right. Well, and I think when you're an adult, that doesn't necessarily mean you're agreeing with them on everything.
No, not at all. Just that they are your parents. You have the respect for that.
And how are we handling disagreements
Mm-hmm.
with anybody, but certainly with our parents, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because differences will arise, but how we handle that and maintain a certain deference to them and understanding authority. I think this is noted here in the handout. There's an authority issue at the bottom of all of this.
Oh yeah. I like Mark Twain's when he said this. He said, when I was 17, I could hardly stand to be around my own man because he was so ignorant and foolish. Said, you know, and 3 years later, I was amazed at how much he had learned in 3 years. So that's kind of, I think, what happens with teenagers growing up. You know, and that's why I always say, you know, where it says in the Bible that rebellious teen you can put to death, I say, you know, that's the extremity of the law. That's the furthest you can go. You can't go any more than killing them, which is pretty far. But nobody's ever carried that out because there wouldn't be any teenagers around if they did that. They'd all be gone by the time they're 14. So, but that's all part of it. You know, you respect your parents and you honor them. And as you said, you don't have to agree with them. But I think you have to look at them and say, you know, this is what I'm commanded to do. To care for them in their old age and care for them and honor what they've said, because they've lived a life that I haven't. And they will know things I don't. So it's all part of learning too, you know, and if it's an image of God's relationship with us, you know, we go to God and we say, hey, what about this? You know, do we go to our parents and say, hey, have you ever had this situation? What did you do? You know, they maybe did the wrong thing, but that's also a learning lesson for us.
Right. And I think that there's an idea that, you know, God, of course, is the ultimate authority. Mm-hmm. So as we learn and understand in our lives the benefit of respecting authority, why? Like you said, all of a sudden my parent got wiser. Mm-hmm. Wow, maybe life would be a little better for me if I heeded some of this advice. Maybe my life would be better if I went to God for advice. And also, God puts people in positions. We have a senior pastor here. Now, we don't pray to him. We understand that he's a fallible person too, but on the other hand, he's been put in a particular position, and so benefit of the doubt should be given, certain deference should be given. That doesn't mean you don't question. That doesn't mean you don't hear what somebody says and then make sure it aligns with the Bible. But all that said, when we're in a fellowship like this, we do have someone who, from a spiritual standpoint, is there to give us guidance.
Yes. Yeah.
And is an authority figure, it should be an authority figure in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if we are uncomfortable with that person, maybe we're at the wrong church. Okay.